Welcome everyone. We're back for another installment of Unleash Your Creativity, which is a blending of nonviolent communication and the artist's way. I'm Yvonne Davis, and this is David Steele of the Rocky Mountain Compassionate Communication Network. So today we're going to be talking about something I call the pattern of discombobulation. So I'll just give you a brief overview of what that consists of. Then David will jump in with his knowledge and wisdom and share that with us. So one of the things that you will discover if you do true transformational work is that you will reach a barrier. And I like to use this analogy of an electric fence. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with this technology, but there is this kind of fence called an electric, I don't mean like an electrified fence, but I mean an electric fence. And I may be using the wrong term, but you'll understand in a moment. So there's this kind of fence called an electric fence where you can set it up and then you put a collar on your dog. And your dog, if it moves toward this barrier of this invisible electric fence, it will either experience a high-pitched sound in its ears that's painful, or it will experience like some kind of electric pulsation in its neck from the collar that's extremely uncomfortable. So what happens is the dog goes back toward the house. So you don't even have to put up a physical fence. You just use this invisible barrier that is triggered if the dog gets too close to it. So what happens is over time, the dog will not move beyond this barrier, obviously. But furthermore, if you then remove the barrier or remove the collar, the dog still won't go past that invisible barrier. And the interesting thing about this is that human beings have a similar invisible barrier within our psyches. So what happens is that if you move toward your barrier and try to break through it, you become extremely uncomfortable. I mean, almost terrified, yeah. It's a panic attack. It's terror. It's truly a feeling of life and death. It's not just discomfort. It will really trigger in you some very intense reactions.
I need a drink.
Yeah, that's what happens sometimes. In order to get away from that discomfort, is we got to run to the ways that we escape, the ways we escape our discomfort. So, do you think maybe we should do that? Because this, doing this transformational work is really, really difficult and uncomfortable. I'm not sure I want to do this. I think maybe we should go have a drink instead.
I don't believe you.
No, I'm serious, David.
I believe you. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, but I'm serious. I really do think that we should. You
okay.
And I should just check this work. Let's go get some beer and
I'll just take a drink right now. Oh, I feel much better.
Yeah, I think we should.
You can have a drink too.
Well, that's not going to work for me. I need something serious. I need something hard. Yeah, like, beer, wine, whiskey, whatever. Let's go get a drink and get some pizza and watch some football instead.
I have some lighter fluid in the other room.
Or we can just burn down the house. That'd be a convenient way of getting out of this.
Yeah, sometimes someone has to start to burn down the house before they can get pushed past their barriers.
Yeah.
Before I was so pleasantly distracted by you. What were we talking about?
We're talking about the fear.
I'm feeling jumbled. I can't quite.
Yeah.
What?
I think this whole transformational thing is just total bullshit, and I don't even know why we're doing this program. It's stupid. I think we should quit. Don't you think so?
But I can't quit. I want to quit. I can't quit. I can't walk away.
Yeah.
I can't. I just can't do it. It's like thinking of going back to my old life, the way it used to be. I can't do it. I can't live that life anymore. This sucks, man, because It just...
That means you're going to have to push through all this stuff, no matter what.
Oh, God, maybe that drink is not a bad idea.
Yeah. See, I'm thinking we should go get some beer and some pizza, and we should watch football. And then,
Can we watch soccer?
Yeah, we can watch soccer. Okay. And
maybe we could put both on the screen at the same time and play a video game in another corner. Yeah. There's 4 corners in a screen.
Yeah. So we could have 2 sports teams, video game, and politics.
Or Miss America.
Or Miss America, or a shopping channel.
Oh, how about a weight loss program?
Okay, all right. I love that. You know what I want to watch? I want to watch shows about fat people losing weight and also Flipper Flop. I love Flipper Flop. I mean, yeah, that is so much more fun than this stupid transformational work. God, I don't know what we were thinking. Thank God we're getting over this stupid transformational work. You mean you're going to hold me to it? Oh, no.
No, I'm going to hold you back. Oh, man.
Are you going to hold me to the fire?
If that's what you want.
Yeah. I always go jumping into the damn transformational fire. After all this, even though there's so many better things we could be doing. Why do I do that?
The neural network, our bodies are dependent on our nervous system to function and on our brain. That the logistical part of our being is really dependent on our ability to think and to have that thought fuse with electrical impulses that are generated mostly by the brain, sometimes by the spinal column, and other places too occasionally, that go through our nerves and cause our muscles to react or produce chemicals that induce emotional states. And your body pretty much does this automatically. So when you learn to drive, you got to be really careful because, here's the stop sign. Oh shit, I said shit. You put your foot on the accelerator and you start to move even faster when you meant to put your foot on the brake. And then you come up and like, oh my God, there's another car. Am I too close to this parked car? How am I going to squeeze back this other? Oh man, parallel parking. Don't even ask me to parallel. But you got to pay attention to all this stuff because it's new to you and you have to create neural networks. You have to create synaptic firing patterns to generate the electrons to control your action, to control your behavior, to manage the car. And if you had to do that every time you drove, life would become untenable. So that's part of what being a human and being a mammal is all about, is these patterns are laid down in our brains and in our nervous system, and we call them habits. And it's a way that we just automatically act or react to a situation. When we step into a new kind of behavior, so when you're talking about transformation, we're stepping somewhat into the unknown, into something we don't understand. Those old neural firing patterns no longer fit. And boy, they really want us back in a way because it's the path of least resistance. And the result of that can be confusion. And you talked about discombobulation because now we're stepping into a chaotic situation where we don't know what the mores, the behaviors, the paths are going to be. And rather than embrace that like we do when we're children, when we don't know what the world is, we have all these expectations about how the world is supposed to go that puts up resistance or predisposes us to want to judge or think how things should go, and that makes it even more difficult to transform. When you're a little child and the world is all new and fresh and you don't know how it's supposed to be, it's much easier to form habit. So that's where the discombobulation comes from, is there's some biological process going on in our brain. And then there's also self-criticism that compounds it because our mind understands what we want to do and what we're supposed to do. And I'm supposed to be all evolved and enlightened. And, oh man, I just got really angry and I'm really frustrated, but I'm supposed to be enlightened. but I know, what's wrong with me? I know how to do this and I'm not doing it. I just God, I just can't get it. And that drink does sound really good right now. But anyway, so that's some of the source of discombobulation. It's totally natural, people. Okay, it's totally natural to feel discombobulated when you're really transforming yourself. How did I do?
That sounds good. Yeah, and I think maybe it would help if we describe a little bit what that discombobulation might look like. What form it might take, how it might manifest. So as an example, you might start to feel tired, overwhelmed, frustrated, feel a lot of anxiety, confusion. You think, I can't do this. Why did I even sign up for this? This is ridiculous. It's not doing me any good. I can't sort out the videos. It's like everything's flooding at me, and I'm supposed to be sitting here reading this book and watching these videos and doing the journaling and doing my artist day, and I don't have time, and besides I can't sort it all out, and I'm too stupid anyway, and why would they even want me in this program? I have nothing to offer, so I'm just going to drop out.
Meanwhile, we're going to hell in a handbasket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. We can't forget about that too, that the whole world is falling apart and the economy is hitting rock bottom and the stock market is crashing, and all kinds of things are going wrong, and there's mass murder in the streets, and cats and dogs are sleeping together, and plus, the government is ruining our lives. So
cats and dogs are sleeping
together?
together?
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Oh.
And, there's just so much else to do in life. Why would we want to even bother with this transformational work?
So, 'tis said, and I don't know who said it, but I know they said it because I've heard it quoted, and I don't remember who they are. Nope, not going to be able to call it up. So, but at any moment we have a choice, because you're talking about threshold, stepping into new territory, discombobulation. At any given moment we have a choice. And that choice is to either turn towards the darkness and take a step, or turn towards the light and take a step. Mm-hmm. And so we're constantly making that choice, except that once you turn towards the light and take a step and you look back at the darkness, you can't go back. You can't really take a step that direction anymore, because now you've seen the light. So really there's no choice. We all move towards the light. We all move towards expanded consciousness and more fully realizing our being, realizing who we are. And so that's why we have to take a drink if we want to ignore that.
Yeah, you have to go unconscious. But the thing is it's not a smooth, easy path.
It's not, no.
And, you're going to run up against that invisible barrier, and it will scream in your ear so loudly you feel like you're going to lose your mind. And you will be terrified, you will go into a panic, you will come up with all kinds of excuses, and they will seem completely legitimate in order to avoid that, going through that barrier. On the other side is the light. I think you can stay in the darkness until you cross that barrier. Once you cross it, you see what's on the other side, and then you can't turn back.
So part of what goes along with this then is your thoughts can get very scattered, confused, interrupt continually. You have one thought and then it's interrupted and something else grabs your attention. It's interrupted and something else grabs your attention. You can't remember where you put your car keys. You back into a telephone pole. You miss the dentist appointment because you forgot you were supposed to be there. Those kinds of things come up, and they are symptoms of the fact that the world, that way we made sense of it before, the way we comprehended it, is crumbling, so that a new way of perceiving is emerging. So certainly be gentle with yourself when you go through this kind of discombobulation because it's frightened. It's like a scared kid. And if you can be gentle yet persistent, it soothes it, it calms it down. Should I tell the lightning story? I think we recorded this video before and we didn't hit record, so we're recording it again. And I think this is the video. There's been so many of them now. This is the video, I think, where I told the lightning story.
Yeah, go ahead and tell the lightning story.
So, because the part of us that's scared, that is confused, it's a lot like a little child. And when we can treat it with gentleness and yet firm persistence, it's a great comfort. Instead of just criticism and finding fault. So when I was, a while back, I was backpacking. I was with my nephew and a friend of ours. He was about 8 at the time. Maybe he was 7. He was pretty young. It was like his second or third ever backpacking trip. And we were getting ready to leave. We were packing up. We were camped right at tree line, where it was just, you could walk right into the tundra or you could walk down into the forest. And this storm came up and lightning struck. This is the closest that lightning has ever struck to me. The thunder was immediate and deafening. And when the lightning struck, everything turned white. You could no longer see anything. It was for a split second. There was just so much brightness that everything else vanished. And lightning in the mountains is very dangerous. It's the #1 source of death for backpackers, being hit by lightning, at least in Colorado. And so the lightning struck. We had to get out of there. My nephew looked at my friend and I, because he was like 8 years old, 7 years old, kind of freaked out, didn't know how to behave. What we did is we stayed very calm and we became very efficient, maybe took another 15 seconds to pack up our stuff and head down the mountain in a coherent way. And when he saw that we were being calm and efficient, he modeled that. He stayed calm and collected and also very efficient, and we just got off the mountain quickly. So he took his cue from us. So when you're going through the discombobulated state and there's fear and confusion, if we can cultivate that part of us that remembers what's important to us, what we're striving toward, and be gentle, calm, and yet efficient, and persistent, really, with that part of ourselves that's discombobulated, we will move through the discombobulation more rapidly.
Okay. So we're going to bring this video to an end. And we will see you again next week. Tomorrow! I'm already discombobulated.
You're doing one every day, not one every week.
Right.
I can't believe you haven't figured that out.
I know.
You know, what's so hard about it? Never mind. I'm going to behave.
Yeah. Alrighty, so we will see you tomorrow.
Ring the bell.
So I just want to give you a reminder to subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, click like on this video and add your comments below, and please share on your social media and with your friends and family. Thanks. We will see you again tomorrow.